So hi everyone. Today I'm with Frenchie, aka Adam French. This one in the Discord is everybody's been asking for it. Frenchie is one of our traders that has traded the freestyle, passed the freestyle in spectacular fashion. And he's actually an EA trader. He actually has made his own bot. He trades discretionary as well, but also with an EA. So we're going to pick his brain a little bit today. Thanks for coming on, Frenchie.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got into trading? Because I know we've had the conversation many times. I even got onto a conversation with you and your son. You were teaching him how to trade as well, which was nice. But tell us a little bit about yourself and about how you got into trading.
So I first heard about Forex a long time ago, and it was always in a negative thing, like, oh, you lose all your money. And so, so I kind of had it in the back of my head from, I don't know, probably 2005, somewhere around there. I heard about it and just never really did anything, but it was always in the back of my head. And around 2019, just decided I wanted to change something and, make a career path change, right? Where I'm no longer working for someone else. And this just fit what I was able to do. I'm a programmer and I had the intentions of figuring out how to automatically get an EA automatically trade for me. So there was no emotion involved. Nice. And so that set me down the path of, I was just doing it on my own with just a brokerage account and did that for 2 years. And then last summer, just started looking around. I'm like, man, I'm making money with this, but I don't have enough money. It's like, this will take me too long to grow, a small account. And then I started hearing about, some of the other funding companies out there.
Firms in general.
And so I found
on the rabbit hole.
And then there's hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos and channels, and so I started watching them all. And then I found the 5ers, and I really liked the way that they had the instant funding, your instant funding program. And I did it a few times and I failed, and then I did it once and I passed, and then I failed it right away. Once I got past the first level, I failed the second one. And that just kind of set me on the path of knowing, man, this will work. I just need to get me out of the equation because I'm no good. I need to figure out how to trade. And so it's a long learning curve. The actual function of pressing a button to open and close a trade, I don't think there's anything easier in the world to do that. It's not hard. You just have to know when to hit that button, when to open and when to close. And so that's been the challenge, obviously. And I think that's a challenge for everyone is when do you open a trade and when do you close it? It's as simple as that. And so I've tried to create a system that alerts me. And so I've had it running for a few years where it would just send me a text. So I don't have to watch the charts, and it would just tell me, hey, there's a trade opportunity here. Check it out. And I did that for a long time. And then I got confident enough to say, you know what, I'm going to make this thing just open the trades and just go for it. And so then I put it on the boot camp. I have a boot camp account. And then it was starting to make money, and I'm doing pretty well with it. And then this whole Ukraine war came out, and it just messed everything up. And so it made me realize, okay, I don't have the risk management part down. So I pulled it off. But when the Freestyle account came out and I saw the video or the announcement for it, I'm like, this is too good to be true. This is like what dreams are made of. You're going to give me an account with 30 to 1, 1 to 30 leverage with 100% profit payout, and it's not a time limit, and there's no drawdown. Like, I can do this. Like, this is me. Like, this is my account. And so I started it off. The first challenge, I started it on the EA. And I honestly didn't really truly
worked really well.
I didn't understand the performance factor.
Okay.
I didn't understand. And And so the way my bot was running is it was viewing any open trades that were open. If I had 8 open trades, when they hit a certain target level, it would close all of them out. And so I'd have 5 wins, but 4 of them were, $20 and 1 was $800. And it just threw everything out of whack and it just didn't work. So I'm like, all right, I need to. So I'm glad you have the reset. So I did the reset. And I'm like, I'm gonna pass this thing doing it old school style, and I'm gonna scalp the way I always do, and I'm gonna trade this thing. I'm gonna get it. And I started out with the new account, and I lost the very first trade, and I was so mad. I'm like, that's it. And I went on a tear, and I won. I think I won everything.
I'll show you. Actually, while you're talking about it, I'll bring up the screen. So when we're talking about you went on a tear, you teared it up. You teared it up. You made $26,000 in the account. Your equity curve is, it never went down. I lost the last 2 trades because I knew I was done, and I opened and closed 2 trades just to get it done. But yeah, I won 97 trades in a row, I think. Yeah, your winning factor as well. We only want to see that a trader wins 30 out of their 100, at least 30. You did 53 that were, and that's over 10% of your actual, your average profit. So I think your average, let's have a look, your average profit was nearly $300. Which is fantastic. And at 26,000, obviously, I know you went into a little bit of drawdown, but you got back from that drawdown and you ended up making 26,000 from obviously your EA trading, which in the community, we're always speaking to each other. We're always watching, and we were kind of with you the whole journey. So we saw you from the beginning. We saw you trading, you went into that drawdown, but you didn't let it affect you, and you just got it all back and even more, So I think a lot of people, especially with discretionary traders, it's difficult because it's not just you against the market, it's then you against yourself. And you being as a kind of an EA tech guy, or coder, sorry, you're able to take yourself, you're able to take yourself out of the equation, which is fantastic. But I bet you're pleased with your performance over a whole, of course.
Oh, I mean, it's still kind of a dream, to be honest, because now I've got, I even posted it on the Discord. I've got visions of me like Scrooge McDuck diving into all the gold in my big chamber, and visions of all the things that everyone wants. And you have to set yourself back to reality. And, so now I'm on the funded account, and I've done, I think I have 3 trades closed out so far, and I've made $100. So it's a slow start.
Taking it slowly. After a big win like that, you want to take a step back, relax, and then go back in. Because I think one of the biggest things as well with a lot of traders is when you get a big win or you get on a big streak, suddenly that overconfidence is as bad as revenge trading. You're so overconfident. You're going into the market, you think you can't lose, and you have those biggest losses when you're that overconfident. So it's good that you've taken a bit of a step back and you're going into it again.
Yeah, and a little of that was forced because I was out of town on Thursday and Friday. I was gone. So anyway, but yeah, so it's happened to me before. I'm kind of known around town as I take risks. I'm not afraid to do it. Like I'll full margin a trade on a funded account. And it doesn't matter to me. I'll go for it. And
you're happy with you feel comfortable taking that risk. Is that something that was developed, or was that something that you've always been like that?
I've never been afraid to take risks with anything in life. Like my whole life, I think I've just been kind of conditioned to it's okay, because I know you don't always win, but when you do, it's big. And that's just kind of been how I've done things. With with a lot of things, with just career stuff, with just anything. And so it doesn't always work out, but I'm happy to know that like if I don't do this, I'll regret it. Yeah. And that's just kind of been my mentality with this is, and it doesn't work a lot. You know, I've lost a lot of funded challenges. I've won. You know, I had a period back in October. I had 3 $200,000 accounts with other companies, and I passed them all so fast, like it was ridiculous. And then I get the funded account, and I blow them right away. And it's like you said,
interesting, isn't it?
Because it's not like I changed anything. It was just it's suddenly when
you're slowly you're developing and you're getting that trading account. We see it with a lot of people, and then suddenly on the funded account, something changes a little bit. You know, I think it's that overconfidence suddenly that now I'm funded. I'm funded. That's it, you know, but that's the start of the journey. I wouldn't even say the evaluation is the start of the journey. Starting the journey is when you're a funded trader, and that's when you've got to hone in on your skills. And I think we've got a good community with people that really do understand that. They know that the evaluation is just the evaluation, but when they're funded, that's when it's their time to really shine. And I think you're one of those people that really pushes that to the community as well. So
yeah, well, I appreciate it, but yeah, I you know, honestly, because like you said, it's people get overconfidence, but also a lot of people get really timid and they're too afraid to make any trades because they're like, oh, I don't want to blow it. And it's like, did you use that same mentality when you were trading the challenge?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, well, it's not real money. And it's the same thing that happens to people. You trade on a demo account for 6 months and you crush it. You make so much money. You're like, man, I'm going to be a millionaire. Right. And then you get your live account and you blow it right away. And you didn't change anything. It's all in your head. And, you know, the setups happen all the time. Like it's amazing how, you know, you can find yourself, if you watch one pair, there's times where you should trade and there's times where you shouldn't trade it, but there's always something that's doing what you should want it to do. So you can't use the excuse, oh, the market's not doing what I want. It'll always do what you want. I promise. There'll be something that'll move where you can make some money off it. I think people just get scared. You can't let that fear of, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose this account, and because it'll cripple you in the same sense as, you know, revenge trading or over trading or
overconfidence.
Overconfidence. Yeah. So
that's why I think a lot of people that can have the methodology behind their trading, and they see the market, and they know their entry. Price hits their entry, they don't get in, but then in their head as well, where they have their take profit, price went to their take profit. So they got the entry, theoretically, they got the price. And if they only would have put the trade on, they would have been successful. And that's where it takes maybe somebody, if you're the personality that's maybe something that you're like that, maybe learning how to maybe code an EA or learning or try and get like an EA to help you with that part of your trading might be the missing piece of the puzzle. Like for you, especially, you had everything, but you couldn't put it down yourself. That discretionary part, that was what was hard for you. And you identified that and you turned that into a bot. It's actually something that I have a problem with as well at the moment.
Yeah. But I think everyone does.
Everyone does at one point, you know, it's something that happens. But what would you recommend to somebody that is in that state, or somebody that was like you, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, that have got the methodology, they've got all their strategy, they're finding it hard to use their discretion to actually put on the trades, and they're looking to maybe put it into an EA or maybe using an EA to actually help them with their trading? What would be those tips and things that you'd say to them to do?
Well, you know, I mean, I can't stress enough that the hardest part with trading is obviously, like you said, it's just doing it, right? If you have a system and you've back tested it and you trust it, you're gonna win and you're gonna lose. Where it's helped me a bunch too is just getting a few people that are also trading. Discord has been awesome for this because you'll private message people, and it's like having people, you know, honestly for me, letting everyone see what my progress is was such a huge motivation for me, because I'm like, I don't want to look like an idiot, because I know they're all going to ask me next week, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I blew it. You know, like I knew, like I want I mean, it was selfish in a way. Like I wanted to show off. Like I wanted to show off. Like I can do this, and that's my motivation. Is I can't wait to post that screenshot showing I passed. And so I don't know. I mean, if that's not your personality type, just doing it privately with someone, if it's a friend or a family member, just letting someone know this is my goal today. I want to reach this target, or I want to get a successful entry. Or, you know, what I've had struggling with most of my career with this, the biggest problem I've had is not letting winners run. You know, you go into drawdown and you're willing to hold it for 30 or 40 pips, right? And you're like, it's going to come back, and it comes back and you get 2 pips. You're like, I made money, and you close it. It's like, but then, you know, 10 minutes later, it drops another 100. You're like, dang it, you know, you missed out on it because you were not patient enough when it started making money. And I've lost out on so much money that way. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be sitting with this room behind me. I'd be on the beach somewhere with all the trades that I had open that I closed too early. So when, let's say I want to build an EA, how can I learn to do that? Is there any special websites or any special way to build an EA? Maybe if I'm not good at coding, is there a way that I can do it without code, or what is something that you'd recommend? I don't know. You know, honestly, like the way I learned it, and if I'm allowed to say the other, you know, the brokerage that I used, I used Oanda. Because they have an API to grab all the price data. And so the way I did it is it's using, you know, JSON, and it uses a curl request. So I'm just grabbing the price data, putting it on a PHP page, and I can, you know, dissect it. I created my own indicators on the page, and then I tell it to open a trade on my Oanda account. And then I have Social Trader Tools, you know, a trade copier, and I copy it over to whatever account I want. So I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but that's
sounds it sounds for the average Joe, you know, PHP and JSON and stuff sounds a little bit complicated. But I'm sure there's
there might be better ways. Yeah, there might be other ways out there. I don't know of any. I know the native language inside MT5, MQL. That would probably be where I would start. There's all kinds of, you know, how-to guides on how to create certain things. That's probably where I would start. If I had to start over, I would probably want to learn that. I know there's other stuff out there. There's guys that, I mean, they make my brain hurt. They make my brain hurt with how much they know. And, you know, but in the end of the day, it's like, does it make money? And you know, is it helping you? And that's all I really care about. And I'm happy with how mine works. I have 15 different strategies running at all times. Wow. And I'm comparing. I have literally millions of pieces of information. And
you're one for a lot of spreadsheets. Every time I come into the Discord, I've got another spreadsheet on the different ways that you can make the most out of your program.
I'm an Excel nerd. I love Excel. That I've been using Excel since 1994, and I love it. So yeah, I'm a numbers guy, and so it excites me. Like you know, some people don't get it. Like I could literally sit in front of the chart all day long, and I'm fine. I love watching it, and that's just it fits my personality type really well. So
perfect. How did you get on with the netting account? Because I know a lot of people especially in FX, everybody is used to a hedging account. Where you can have different biases, you can go short, you can go long, or you can buy and sell basically currency at the same time.
At the same time. And
exactly. Netting, you don't get that. So it is a little bit different. How did you adapt to netting? And well, I think it's a positive thing personally. Everyone thinks it's a great thing to hedge. If you know how to hedge, then more power to you. I always end up blowing accounts when I try to hedge. Like you're like, oh, dang it, it goes the wrong way. And then you open a hedge account or a hedge trade to just basically make it zero, but you're still negative drawdown. And then you try to add a position the way that it's going, and you try to get yourself out of the hole. I think I've done that. I did it a lot on crypto. I did that a lot with crypto. I would hedge, and
I think out of maybe 20 or 30 times trying to do that, I might have gotten out of it one time, and every other time I've lost. Yeah. And so I don't like hedging. I mean, it's good to know that it's there, but it never works out for me. And so the hedge, I think, is not a big problem. I think people just don't understand how cool netting is. Mm-hmm. You can do, it's the same thing that you can do.
Exact same thing.
With a hedging account, but it does it for you, right? Like it just changes the position to have whatever you're two at. You know, if you entered here and here, it takes whatever the average price is plus the lot size, and it changes.
It works out for you.
Okay, it's like it does it for you, so it's one trade, and it makes it a lot easier to manage.
So in taking partial profits on a netting account has never been so. Can't tell you enough how easy it is taking partial profits on a netting account, because you've got your entry. Let's say you've laddered in, you've got your average entry, and then you can just do limit orders, click of 2 buttons, a limit order here to take you out of the market, a limit order here and a limit order here, and you're out of the market. Whereas before, with a hedging account, you've got to go into this. It's a
lot of work.
And so I express my love for netting accounts so much, because netting accounts just cleans the chart up. It makes everything a lot better. But when things are new, it's hard for people to get used to that. And I understand.
And I think what happened, where it was really helpful for me was I had a trade I opened, and it was on a Euro USD trade. I knew it was going down, and like it always does, as soon as I open a trade, it obviously goes the other way, because that's just the law of nature, right? So it went up, and I was watching it. I'm like, it's going to come back, right? It's coming back to me now. That's the time to use netting, because now it's like add another sell when it's up at the top. Now your average price is in the middle of those two. And so it doesn't have to come all the way back to your original entry. Yeah. And it's like, you have to get that in your head. Like, this is a huge opportunity to make a bad trade a really good trade. And, but it's also a way when even if it doesn't go against you, it's an easy way to get into to add more to a winning trade. And it's hard. And I don't know who it was. I watched a video of a guy, and he was talking, super smart guy on YouTube. I don't remember his name. I wish I did. But he was talking about how when he's trading, he's not looking for when can I exit this trade. He says his number one focus is, where do I add more to this winning trade? Like that's his whole mindset is, I'm going to keep adding to this trade if it's going up. And I never really thought about it till he said that, but it's amazing how if you don't keep that in the front of your head while you're trading, you don't even think about it. It's like, man, I'm winning. Like, if you have available margin, add to it, keep it going, right?
Mentally, for some reason, for a lot of traders, even in the past, myself, when you've got a big position on and you see the P&L, you naturally want to take that P&L. You want to take those profits. For some reason, you don't want to let it you don't want to add more, and you just want to get out because you want to secure those profits. And sometimes even when you're in the red, it's the opposite, because you don't want to take those losses, because it hurts taking those losses. You should take a loss. That's why I think trading is one of the hardest things anybody can do, because it's really you against yourself. Obviously, you've got the market, and the market's its own beast, but it's you against you. And unless you can master yourself and master all of that, you're really going to struggle at trading. And I think, trading's we could go.
Someone said the market is very balanced. Whether you think it is or it isn't, it is very balanced. Like if it doesn't move, it can't just keep going. Yeah. I mean, like if it did, then, we would have. It
just doesn't care. The market doesn't care about the way that you feel or the way that you have your particular bias. And all we can do is kind of react to what we see in the price action. And then, hopefully with the experience that we've built from a long time, we can start to actually adapt that and make better profits. And I think you mentioned it earlier. You said about your experience when you had a bad trade, but you knew that it was actually going to come back around because you had that experience of knowing that particular market, but also how market structure works, and you knew that. Can you tell me a little bit about that, or tell everybody about that? Because that's something that I like. I want to hear as well. Yeah.
So I love moving averages. I mean, I'm not going to hide it. I personally think
Which moving averages?
Huh?
Which moving averages?
I use the EMAs. I love EMAs, and I use like a 5, a 25, a 50, a 100, a 200, a 400.
I'm a 50 and 200. Those are
but I put a whole bunch on the chart, and I call it the eagle fang. Like I was just being silly, but where they all come together. When all those moving averages come together, they'll literally all stack on top of each other. Yeah. When that thing takes off one way or the other, that's my eagle fang. Like it's going. It's like, let's get it. Because it usually blasts off when they all come back together. And so I've just watched it enough to know when the price touches, like on a 5-minute chart, especially when the price comes back to the 50, if it doesn't respect that 50, that trend is usually done. And so I love watching that. So for me, I've stared at it so much that you do start to see these patterns. Now they're always different, but they're very similar, especially like on Euro USD is, the number one pair that's traded in the world. And it's very frustrating sometimes because it won't do anything. It'll just sit there. But when it does move, it's a clean move, clean move. And you can see it, and it just plays out perfectly every time when it does it. And so I wait for those moves. And so I've set it up to give me alerts when it does that. For all the 20, I trade 21 pairs. I don't do the CHF pairs, but I do the other 6 major pairs. Or is it 7? I don't know. 7? Whatever. I do the 21 out of 28. Nice. But I wait for those. I wait for those situations, and when they show up, the system opens a trade for them. But when I do more just manual trading on my own, I tend to gravitate towards Euro USD and then the pound yen, just because I've watched them so much. I'm used to them. Pound yen is a roller coaster, and you have to know what you're getting into when you get on that thing. Like, it's not a kiddie ride. Like that's the big boy, and you have to be real careful with that. that thing can make or break your account real quick.
But I like that, because if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right.
Exactly. Whereas I think it's like that with gold also, right? I'm not as experienced with gold, but gold is the same thing. Where if you're wrong, you're really wrong. Yeah. And if you're right, it could be really beneficial. So
I think there's a CAD pair. I can't remember which pair it is because I don't trade it. I used to when I was looking for pairs that I liked, because I'm a crypto trader from core. And when I came obviously to the 5ers, I started looking at Forex. I was looking at loads of different pairs, and there was a CAD pair that you could have the right direction, but before it went to your take profit or even down into that direction, it will chop you up. It will come back to your take, your break even, go back down, come back up, go back down, really chop it up, and then go to your take profit. And you're there like, wow, I've got to sit through all of that. But when you've got like some pound dollar, if it goes a direction, it goes a direction. It's so much nicer to trade. Yeah,
you have to. If you're going to trade a pair, my high suggestion is watch it for a while, because they all act
learn
it.
They're
all different, and it's like your kids. This kid's way more outgoing than this one. You have to know their personalities, and I've traded Euro USD more than anything. That's the pair that I've done more in my career of doing this. But GJ has quickly become my favorite. Nice. Only because of how much it moves. The other day it moved 300 pips or something in one day. So in one direction.
What would be your recommendation? Say somebody is now on the cusp. They've been playing around on a demo account. They've got some success, a little bit of how you were a couple of years ago, and now they're looking for a prop firm to take their first challenge because they want to be funded with a prop firm. What would your recommendation be to those people going into their first evaluation?
Like you said, I mean, if you feel like you're ready, the hardest thing is being consistent. Yeah. But so if you can do it on a demo account, if you can actually, if you are going to take a challenge account and you see what the parameters are, like this is the requirements for this account. If you can do that successfully on a demo account, then there's no difference between them. It's all in your head. And so I would say you really truly have to understand the rules and the criteria for what you need to pass.
Yeah.
And the nice thing with the Freestyle account, and honestly, like I've never seen a trading style like this, where you could pass this account with literally $50 profit. If you don't go into drawdown more than $25, you could pass this account with $50 profit. You could do it like I did. I had to make 26,000 to cover my 13,000 in drawdown. So, but you can't get $13,000 drawdown on a $50,000 account anywhere. So I would not have passed.
Gives you that freedom, but I knew freedom to trade.
Exactly. So I knew that I was able to let it do that. So you have to take advantage of the parameters it gives you, but also you have to understand them. And truly, like, I think if you don't understand the criteria, I love the Discord group on, for the 5ers, because everyone is willing to talk about it. And I've been on Discords before with other companies, and it's like it's a macho man battle. Like everyone wants to. They're just making fun of everyone, and it's like I don't feel that way at all on the Discord with 5ers. Everyone's trying to help each other. I mean, we've maybe had a few arguments, but it was quickly like, okay, you're right. But
it's like people debate and like debating about trading, which for me, I love it. I welcome it, because you have so many different ideas in trading, and you have one person with this idea and another person with this idea, and coming to a conclusion at the end. For me, I just look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm proud. I'm glad we've got a community like this. This is the kind of community I want to be in. If I'm a trader, and trading's a lonely thing, and suddenly now I've got people like-minded that can actually talk about trading and understand what I'm going through as a trader is just,
Absolutely. And I do feel like, definitely take advantage of that with the, with any type of account you're going to purchase from, the 5ers. I would say, you even have the individual chat rooms for each type.
Each program.
I think people will really enjoy just the camaraderie of like-minded people, because, my wife, I mean, she loves the fact that I'm doing this, but she has no clue what I'm doing. Like, she looks at this thing and she's like, how do you look at that all day? I'm like, I just like it. So find people that like that you can talk to. And exactly. It's been a good experience. And I hope I've been helpful, because I just love this. And I've done a lot of stuff that,
the reason you help, I think you help in the community a lot is because you're vocal. You speak a lot in the community. All of your spreadsheets really helped people get a good, clean idea about what was best for their particular personality and their strategy to what program, because there's no one program really fits all. That's why we've got so many programs for traders that are looking for live money all the time straight away. If you're experienced, then you've got the instant funding. For brand new beginners, you have boot camp. And for people that want that freedom, they've got an edge and they want that freedom to trade, you've got the Freestyle. You can't have just one cookie cutter program for everyone, because as traders, we're not the same. We're so different. Each one of us has such a different personality, such a different way of trading, such a different way of looking at a chart. I'll sit with Ruben and we would talk about trading. I'm like, no, I think this is going down. And he's like, it's definitely not, because it's going to this support. And he's looking at it like a totally different perspective. And it's
like your stop loss is my take profit.
That's it. Yep. Fantastic. Have you got any kind of resources or anything that could help a newer trader who's coming into this whole crazy world of trading? Anything that has really helped you, any kind of books, any kind of YouTube channels, or anything that can really help them so they can get started?
Well, what I did, but when I really wanted to figure this out, what I started doing was, there's a guy, I'm pretty sure his name is Trade Pro. And he does the 100 tests, right? Where he tries a strategy and he tests it 100 times.
Nice.
There's other guys that do that, and there's different, structure of how you can test, but back testing doesn't really prove anything other than it gives you practice. And so for me, the best thing I did was get the the premium trading view, so you could do the replay mode.
Yeah.
And I would figure out, this is the strategy I want. Let's do it on back testing where you don't have the results ahead of you, because it's easy. You could easily say, oh, I'll buy right here because you see it's going up, right? Like, do it on a real back test replay where you're manually seeing the price action move. Do it with indicators, whatever you want to do, but use the back test feature, the replay mode on TradingView. I don't know if there's other platforms that have that, but that helped me so much because that gave me more confidence. If you say, this is the strategy I want, and there's simple strategies out there. It's like, if you do it on if you just say, like, on the 15-minute chart, if the price goes over the 50 EMA, buy. If it goes below it, sell. It'll work if you do the correct
practice.
If you practice and you look at the price action and you say, okay, if it does this, I'm out, right? It's like, okay, well, it'll do it every time if I just take 2 pips. So if that's your strategy, take 2 pips every single time it does that, test it.
It's learning. It's getting that experience of, especially like when something I would recommend to traders that are watching as well, I'll just add to what you said, is focus on just one market just to start off with. If it's, let's say, Bitcoin, if it's the DAX, if it's just I don't know, cable, pound dollar, or EU, anything. Focus on one, learn it, watch the chart, make strategies, and see what works. And then afterwards, go, when you've got that experience and you've learned, go on to all the other pairs and go on to all the other markets, but just focus on one, because when you focus on one, you can really understand it and learn it, and you'll have so much more success that way.
I don't know where we left off. Oh, we were
so we left off, the camera kind of cut out. I don't know how long we've got the camera for. We've got a bit of a buggy camera.
Well, what we were saying, mainly is, what I also have done is, get a regular brokerage account if you don't have one. And even just the mentality of having real money in an account versus a demo, it is a huge difference. And, if you want to experience it, it is just as real with $100 in an account as it is with $1 million. It's the same process. And it's amazing how different it is when it's real money versus demo. It doesn't matter how much it is. At least for me, it wasn't. And so, before you take the challenge, at least get experience with, if you haven't done it before, get used to doing the trade execution with, how do I create the limit orders? How do I create the buy order, sell order? Where do I place my stop loss? How do I put a take profit? Like, all of those little things, they're not hard. But if you're just learning how to do that on a demo account, it's fine. But you want to feel comfortable. You don't want that to be a tricky thing for you to have to do that when you're trading. You want it to just be thoughtless, where you know what to do, you can react to it, you can hit the button, and make your levels that you want and add it in, and it's not a problem for you. I have my Oanda account is connected to TradingView. You can log in, and so every trade it sets a stop loss and a take profit. But with TradingView, you can just drag that and hit update, and it updates everything. It's
perfect.
So it's nice to have that. So if you don't have the a system like that allows you to do that, MT5 is kind of clunky for the desktop version of it. I love the app. But the desktop version of it is, I don't even use it because I don't like it. But I really like the way TradingView does it, where you can view, when you log into your broker, you can view the orders and you can move them. And anyway, I'm babbling now, but
look, we'll keep it at that, because I know the cameras, I don't know what's going on with the camera, but we'll keep it at that. Thank you very much, Frenchie, for spending the time. I had a fantastic conversation with you. This will go up in the Discord, let everybody see it. And now all that money that you make on the real account, now that's 100% yours, so you can take it whenever you want. It's 100% yours. So
I'm going to ask you this now, just because this is a question. Like, I have a trade going right now, and I'm up $235.
There you go.
Since we've been on this call, if I close this right now, The way I understand it is if you have $200 or more in profit, you can withdraw it at any time.
Exactly. Actually, I think it's 150. So
okay, so if it's over 150, I can hit the button and I can withdraw it. Yeah. If I make another 150 tomorrow, can I take it out again tomorrow, or do I have to wait another month?
No, you can take the profits whenever you want, and you can do that through crypto. You can have Wise. Yeah, through deal, exactly. Yeah. So you've got your deal account. I set you up a deal account not so long ago. So there you go.
All right, well, I'm ready, man.
Take care. All right, Frenchie, and thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me today, okay?
You got it.
All right, take care, mate.
Take care.